Welcome back to Snipercade. In recent years, the size of video games has grown dramatically. What used to be a few gigabytes has turned into massive files exceeding 100 gigabytes, requiring significant storage, high-speed internet, and frequent updates. While improved technology and expansive gameplay are part of gaming's appeal, the steadily increasing size of video games brings both advantages and challenges that affect gamers worldwide. Audio quality is another factor. Modern games often feature rich, layered soundtracks, full orchestras, and extensive voice acting in multiple languages. Every piece of dialogue, background score, and sound effect adds to the game's size. The audio alone can take up more storage than entire games from a decade ago. Expansive, open-world gameplay is another reason for growing file sizes. Popular genres such as open-world or sandbox games, including The Witcher 3 or Red Dead Redemption 2, offer huge maps and interactive environments. Each location, quest, character, and item contributes to the file size, especially when these worlds are populated with intricate details and interactive elements. Many games also follow a live service model, meaning they receive regular updates, new content, and expansions long after launch. Games like Fortnite or Destiny 2 continuously add new modes, maps, and characters, making frequent downloads and updates necessary. Each new patch increases the overall file size, and while some developers try to optimize, others choose to prioritize adding content over minimizing file size. Finally, while compression techniques are improving, they are still limited. Game developers have to balance the need for smaller files with the desire to preserve image and audio quality. When high-quality assets are compressed too much, they lose fidelity, so developers often opt for less compression. This trade-off has led to ever-growing file sizes as they strive to maintain a high standard of quality. The impact on gamers as games grow, they start to present practical challenges for gamers, beginning with hardware limitations. High-capacity storage drives are more accessible than ever, but not every gamer has room for multiple 100 GB plus games on their console or PC. Players with smaller drives are forced to manage their library, deleting games they'd rather keep to make space for new ones. For instance, the PlayStation 5's 825 GB SSD drive can fill up quickly, requiring users to constantly manage storage. Another significant impact is on internet and download speeds. Downloading a 100 GB game can be time-consuming and costly for those with data caps or slower internet speeds, especially in regions without reliable high-speed connections. For some players, these file sizes create an obstacle, potentially delaying or preventing access to the game entirely. Even routine patches can be a burden, as updates of several gigabytes are released frequently. For some gamers, these storage and download needs carry real financial costs. Adding storage through external SSDs or upgrading internet plans can be expensive, especially when compounded over time. This creates a gap between gamers who can afford the latest storage solutions and high-speed internet and those who cannot. In some ways, growing file sizes introduce a new kind of barrier to entry, limiting who can fully enjoy these games based on their resources. The shift from physical to digital games also highlights the problem of file size. Today, physical copies often act more like license keys, with large downloads still required even when players own the disc. Meanwhile, the environmental impact of all this digital storage, both the physical discs and the server resources needed for downloads, adds another layer to the conversation, with larger games consuming more energy and leaving a larger carbon footprint. Solutions and innovations. Despite these challenges, there are emerging solutions aimed at reducing the impact of large game files. Advanced compression techniques are constantly evolving, with new tools allowing developers to maintain high quality while keeping file sizes manageable. For example, some games on the PlayStation 5 use technology like Oodle Kraken to compress files more effectively, making it possible to store expansive games in a fraction of the usual space. Selective download options offer another practical solution. Games like Call of Duty now allow players to download only certain portions, like the campaign, multiplayer, or specific modes, rather than the entire game. While not all games provide this flexibility, it allows players to minimize the file size and save space for what matters most to them. Cloud gaming and streaming services like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Now represent another potential solution. Rather than downloading large files, players stream the game from a remote server, significantly reducing the need for storage space. However, streaming requires a stable, high-speed internet connection, which not everyone has. Plus, the ongoing cost of subscription services may not appeal to all gamers, and issues with latency and game ownership remain potential drawbacks. Finally, some developers are implementing more efficient patching methods to keep games updated without forcing players to re-download massive portions of the game. By allowing players to download only the new files or necessary updates, These developers are beginning to recognize the importance of minimizing file sizes wherever possible. Conclusion: as video games become more detailed, immersive, and visually impressive, their file sizes continue to grow. While this trend brings benefits like improved graphics, expansive gameplay, and lifelike audio, it also places a burden on gamers who have to navigate storage limitations, download constraints, and financial costs. While emerging technologies offer some solutions, the balance between quality and file size will likely remain a challenge for developers and gamers alike. The question remains, will the industry find a sustainable way to bring high-quality games without demanding such hefty resources from players, or will gamers have to continue adapting to the ever-growing demands of modern games? The answer may define the future of gaming itself, as developers and players alike seek a middle ground between technical ambition and practical accessibility.